actually a pretty darn entertaining movie. It's basically like it's about to show you how bad New York City was. It was like all about the gangs. So anyway, for some reason, the Warriors got to get home to their home in Coney Island, but all the other gangs think that they like killed a certain guy, right? So that's the Warriors. So you got to watch it if you ever can. Now, am I just bringing up this out of the blue to show you my nostalgic, 1980s? No, I just thought it was funny because I came across this story here. Now, are you guys familiar with this dude? Right? Supposedly, this is some of my competition here. It's like, I don't know, man, whatever. I'm not going to say anything. Well, anyway, are you guys familiar with these guys? Yes, Pat, I will get to that. Well, anyway, apparently Warrior Training was, I'm not sure you knew, but they were nominated 3 times as the best trading educator back in 2016, 2017, and 2018. And honestly, achievements like these definitely highlight that it is indeed an industry leading in trading education. However, sometimes things aren't as always good as they seem. What about this? Oh, $3 million settlement. Misleading consumers with bogus money-making claims, according to Samuel Levine, I suppose, from the FTC, in connection with the deceptive and unlawful advertising, marketing, promotion, distributioning, and selling of day-to-day strategies and related goods and services to consumers about most of the United States, blah, 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 blah. The dude's a friggin' scam artist, okay? So I guess it's a little bit of Schadenfreude here, but it's also a little bit of like, dude, if it's too good to sound true, it probably is. And deployed deceptive earnings claims through its sales pitch in violation of telemarketing rules, blah, 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 blah. So anyway, ain't nothing like that going on over here in the BENZINGA Trading School. I'll tell you that much. But you know what? In a way, this angers me, right? Because this isn't just like an honest mistake, I mean, I mean, they don't say like this, like we settled. It's like he's saying they misled customers with bogus claims, and this is not like a regular person say. This is the head of the director of the SEC, Board of Consumer Protection. So this is not debatable. This is not a gray area. This is black and white. Like these people were out to scam people, and frankly, it's a shame that they lost money for people, but let's just hope they get what they deserve. A pro course for $5,000? Oh boy. I don't know. Gonna have to talk to the marketing department, man. Might have to jack some prices up. Not for you guys, but for future students. Anyway, I don't know, man. I guess it's just because of my whatever. If I saw some dude like, I don't know, I'd rather learn from someone who actually has real experience and didn't just get lucky for a few years in a row. But I want to go to Pat's question about why I thought that we would see the bounce that we're seeing. And it really just has to do with levels. So let's go through these sectors here, and let's update our levels. Since I've been finally getting back in the groove here, man, So, it's like the debauchery in Vegas took me a little bit longer to get over than I thought it would. But, I'm still ready to go, man. I'm looking forward to the next time. All right, so we're going to go to our tech sector, Spider, here. XLK. For those of you who are new, we follow the various sectors in the market by looking at the ETFs that track them. All right. And I'm going to make this year to date. That's going through my head. Warriors, come out and play. Yay. Like one of the most awesomely bad movies of all time. But it's not even awesomely bad. Actually, it's kind of good in a way. It's kind of like a historical display of how messed up New York City was, or or how much crime there was back then, and now it's getting back to the levels. All right, so this level down here is, we're going to call this, and remember, we typically don't want to be this precise, right? You can't just say, oh, it's 131.50. If it gets to 131.52, I'm not going to buy it. So, for example, so these are just like guide maps, 131. So, Pat, the reason why with the tech sector, we thought that this bounce was coming here was we had support back here. Whoops. And I have to apologize to you guys. Because I'm a little bit behind on the newsletter too for this week, just because of aforesaid reasons of debaucheristic behavior. But I should have it together by the noon class. And frankly, this is actually what I was going to talk about, because we can go through this together here. So tech sector, gets crushed here, holds on around 131.50, which is, whoops, for support. All right, so support back here. Let's save. And so then we have support over here. So that's one level there, right? See, one of the reasons why I was expecting this bounce is because we had a confluence of different sectors reaching important levels at the same time. So here we have tech. Here we have tech reaching 131.50, and that's where we stopped. And we were a couple bucks above it. Now, my guess is that we can see a little bit of follow through here up until we get to this level up here, which is 140. Reason being, support can become resistance. So just like a support level can stay intact for a while, like we see this from May, so literally a year ago. Wow, look at that. So literally, so May 12th was the low. Wow, look at that, man. All right, man. Maybe we could add some numerology and astrology into the little mix here. The low trade here. Oh, whoops. Yeah, May 12th. The low trade here, May 12th. Ooh, I wish I had a thing with some Twilight music or Twilight Zone music I can get going. That is a pretty interesting coincidence. But I'll leave that up to you numerologists to come back to me with something on that. So I'm thinking now I'm going to just put this level up here, 140. So I'd be looking for some short-term resistance around here, right? So we're not talking about a huge move. I would imagine in the pre-market, we're probably, I don't know where we are. The futures are up. Let's see. NASDAQ futures are up 2%. All right. So we might even get to this 140 level today. And then we could start thinking that this little move higher might peter out. All right, so I'm going to save that. All right, so support here, and then I guess what I'll do is I'll do one of these things here. Resistance here, but I'm going to put a question mark because I'm not sure. All right, so I'm going to be saying maybe we could look for some resistance there. So, you know, again, this goes back to tech's going to move, you know, are you going to play it here or are you going to play it, you know, somewhere else within the sector? But this is the level I keyed in on for tech. And you know what? Let's say that this does turn into a whole new bull market, which, you know, I would be frankly utterly astonished if it did. But hypothetically speaking, you know, we look at the market in terms of these steps. It doesn't just go in a line, you know, it gets to, you know, an important level, rallies, breaks an important level, rallies. So what you kind of do is, you know, it's like, you know, when we, like, say someone played the long side off of here, right? And this would have been a pretty, I mean, unfortunately, this was, you know, I was at the conference, but when you saw that Apple held that 135 level, you know, and then started to rally off of that. So you catch this, right? As long as we stay above this, you got to kind of have a bullish tone. And then maybe next step at 140. And then if we stall out there, you get out. And then you just wait to see which way the tide breaks. And the next level would probably be here, and you do the same thing. The next stop would probably be here, and you do the same thing. So if we're making a full-time or a long-term bottom here, you know, we'll have caught it if you follow that strategy, right? You know, we're going to move a little bit ahead, but when we get up to the next resistance, you know, when we get up to the next resistance, then we kind of get on the sidelines and see which way we're going to go. I don't think that this is the, you know, I don't think that this is the bottom, frankly. And this move is probably, may not be that long term. But anyway, so there is our tech sector. Now let's talk about what I meant with Apple, just because we want to focus on this whole level discussion we're talking about here. Let's see. So if Apple keeps moving, I would be focused on two key levels here, right? One would be this little bottom here around, let me just get rid of some of the stuff here. I guess we'll call that 151. That would probably be some kind of a stop there, 151. There might be a little bit of resistance there. But, you know, if Apple breaks through this, you know, I would say next stop could be 156. And in the pre-market, we're at 148. So, you know, we might stall out there, but my guess is if we get through there, 151, the next stop would be 156. So this would be like a big thing to watch here, right? Because this is Apple. It's the biggest, you know, it's the biggest stock in the market. And it was resistance. It was support. It was support here. So this is a pretty important level. So if we do get some kind of a decent rally and some kind of a decent bounce, and there's a little bit of follow through, it would be a pretty, you know, the odds would be pretty good is that it would stall out, at least for the time being, around 156. Like, I highly doubt we would just blast right through that. Apple getting to 156 could put an end to this little bounce that, you know, started on Thursday and seems to be following through. But just to show you the importance of these levels is, you know, like once you saw this move here, like once you, let's take a look at what that looked like, right? So anyway, so Apple's selling off and is like, is it going to hold? So I'm going to go to the 5-day chart and look what happens. You know, so Apple gets down here. Is it going to hold? It basically revisited that level for an hour. All right. So traders were watching this, and after an hour, it looked like it was going to hold, and then they start jumping in, and that drives the momentum forward. So we have this big move lower, and it's like, oh, we're right where we were in October. Is it going to hold? Is it going to hold? Is it going to hold? You know, is it going to hold? And then after it looks like it's going to hold for an hour, then you get.
All right, guys, let's take a little break here. It's like 20 minutes that we went over the class from today. We're going to recap in a bit, but I just want to catch up with some questions here. All right. So, question from KK. So KK, this would be annual, so it'd be for the year. Penny Dunson, is this watching video classes? Penny, I don't understand that question. So feel free to put it there. I'm just not sure what you mean there. So this is the Benzinga Trading School live demo. So basically, I'm here showing you guys how you can use and benefit from the trading school. Right now, I showed you a little bit of the class, and I was going to show you guys a little bit of pro. If you do want to watch a little bit of the pro side, I don't mind staying here with you guys. Again, keep in mind, like, I have like an actual job here and stuff, not just do this. But if you guys want, I can stay here, show you a couple things in pro. If you have questions on the school, whatever, I can help you. That's fine. But let me know in the chat. Do you guys want to watch a little bit more of this, or do you just want to jump into pro and start looking at some charts, start looking at a couple indicators? I know that somebody said indicators. Was it you, Lori? I'm not sure if Lori's still here, but yes, do you guys want to just give me a vote of hands in the chat. We've been watching this class for 20 minutes, you know. So you guys know what the school's about, right? At this point, you guys get it, right? Am I good there, right? You guys understand how the school works, so we're all good with the school. Perfect. I think we can move on to the. So it's $7 for 7 days, and if you want to keep it, if you want to use it, if you think it's going to help you, it's $14.97 after that. Otherwise, you can just take the $7 7-day trial, and that's it. You get live classes, live everything. I'm just showing you guys the recordings because the class already passed, but it's live classes, live classes Monday to Friday. With Mark, you have a live trading chat room there with him. I don't know how much people have been in and out of this session. It's probably like a couple hundred, but just in case you missed it in the chat, you just click chat and you have Mark's trade ideas, student trade ideas. You have quizzes, and also Mark is putting this thing that I forgot to tell you guys. Where is it? Community support. Let's see, where is this thing? General discussions. So Mark is doing this thing. It's pretty new. So it's like a thing he does every week, and it's like he goes over like what's going to happen in the week. These are the sectors that I'm looking at. These are the stocks that I'm looking at. This is why. This is what's happening in the market, and this is live. You'll do this with him live as well, right? If you can't make the live class, you can get the recording as well. There's a video library, Michelle. It's pretty much right here on the top. You see where it says video library? That's where you can get everything, the recordings. So, okay. So this spreadsheet, right? It's a PowerPoint. It's every week, right? You'll go over it with Mark, and let's just kind of glance over it so you can kind of, Penny, don't worry. That's fine. That's fine. You got me. I'm going to stay here for a little longer. All right. So this is 516. All right. So this is the one that he just recently made. So he's talking about levels, and he does this every week. This is separate from the classes. Again, separate from the classes, but you'll do this live with him again. No worries. So he's talking about levels, right? Certain price levels are more important than others. Sometimes the reason why a particular level is important is obvious. So really important notes, right? Again, this week, right? What happened? Many of the 11 sectors that make up the S&P have found support at important levels, right? I'm just reading off what he's saying here, but this is something that you should read every week because he gives it to you. It's called the trading school, but we talk about trading pretty often every day. So yeah, he's talking about SPY, right? With all the lines and all important levels. Again, keep in mind, this is education. You're looking at education, but you're also looking at trade ideas, right? You can look at it however, however you want, really. I'm always learning from this stuff. Juan, yes, it's only English. But if I can help you with any translation or anything, I can try my best, but everything is in English on the course. And then we have XLK. So this is about the technology sector. So you can see here, again, a lot of you guys trade tech. A lot of you guys are in tech and high growth names. That's probably the one damn chart that I want to keep in mind is the XLK. So SE, remember I was telling you about SE, the trade that I have, which by the way, I do want to check out really quick. There we go. All right. So again, that line has been there since I started here. All right. I've made a live trade with everybody here. This thing could have tanked on me. You guys would have known the truth, right? But let's go back to where we were. All right, so that's the XLK, right? So that company, the SC, what I'm trying to say is that that's a tech company, right? And tech had a boost today because of the technical levels that you can see Mark is talking about in his report. You can see it. But then SC also reported earnings. So, all right, so I'm going to put my email in the chat. Juan, everybody that has questions, feel free to email me if you have questions on the minor details, all that stuff, or need help getting signed up. After the session, I can go ahead and reach out to you guys. All right. So the XLK, right. So that's the one that I was looking at. So he's talking about Apple, healthcare sector, consumer discretionary, basically every single sector in the S&P. And that way you can kind of understand what's happening, what's moving, what's not moving. The time, so the full time schedule is Monday to Thursday, 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern and 12 to 1 p.m. Eastern. And then Friday, it's 7 to 9. So that's, ongoing schedule, right? So this is just something that you do with Mark once a week, right? He always has a secret message behind these pictures that he puts here. Clifford Petrino. I don't know what he means by that. As a canine, Clifford thinks he's an apex predator. All right, so I'm not sure exactly. He always has like an inside joke with this stuff, but I have not asked him what the one for this one is. All right, so the chat room, you can see this is where you can find trade ideas, and that's where you find that weekly preview that I showed you, right? There's another document he uploaded here, Wall Street Myths. I have no idea really what this is, but this is 7 Wall Street myths. Again, this is just for you guys in the school, right? Let's go back to the chat room. And this is all general discussions. Sound alerts, you can put them there if you want. Okay, video library. Someone, I think it was Valerie or Valeria, asked about recordings. You just click video library. You'll go over all that stuff. So let's get on to pro, right? Let's get our hands here with the stocks and stuff like that. My email is there, by the way, in the chat. And I'll put my direct number there if anybody wants to call. And okay, so right now, this is the stock we're looking at. We've been looking at the stock for the whole damn session, okay? We've been looking at this thing since we started. And that was like at 1 p.m. So for a whole hour, right? So this is the chart that we've been looking at. This chart is inside Benzinga Pro. However, we can look at any other chart. If you guys want to give me a stock, you want to look at Walmart, Edwin, we can look at Walmart. It's funny you say that because I was pretty negative on this stock. And HD reports today. Yo, I'm trying. Let's HD. Did they report already? I don't know. But all right, let's look at Walmart though. That was a pretty nasty drop. Did you have puts there, Edwin, or what's up? They already reported. So the money was already made, but I mean, it looks like it's still dumping, man. Must have been pretty bad. It's still dumping, and it's 2 p.m. I mean, this is low of the day, brother. This is the low of the day. I mean, it keeps making new lows of days. I've never seen Walmart down or up 11% ever. It's a big company. So let's dive into the news or whatever that happens. So that's what you can do in Pro. So you can look at the charts, but I mean, we all know how the chart looks. Let's go over the earnings and see like what happened, right? So there's a couple things you're going to see in Pro, right? Like number one, I'm seeing here that some people are buying calls. Well, and I got an alert here, right here. Walmart, a new 52-week low. All right, Edwin, these are things that like you can see in a chart, but then like you have these alerts that help you as well. So I have a tool here that gives me 52-week highs, lows, and some other stuff. I'll show you guys. This is pretty deep. There's a lot of stuff here. It's super customizable. You can't go back after you try it. Okay, so you can see these are some call sweeps, right? Put sweeps as well. You can get the actual strike prices there and expiration dates if they were bought at the bid or below. Let's see what else we can find here. I mean, you can see there's definitely buyer's remorse, nasty feeling. Wow. I mean, Walmart has broken its lifetime trend line. I mean, let's just see. Let's see what else we can find here with Walmart. Okay, so this is like a quick summary of what analysts think about Take-Two and Walmart. Okay, so these are the earnings, right? So it looks like they missed on EPS and they beat on revenue. Okay. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think revenue is more important if you ask me. Like my background is finance, commercial finance, and like, I mean, revenue is more important, but obviously you want both. But EPS is like, you can mess around with that number. You can't mess around with the sales. I mean, that's the market we're in, man. If you don't beat both by a lot, you're going out. And also the expectations. Maybe people just expected a lot of them, But this is crazy. I mean, let's see how low. So let's pull up a daily chart on this. I mean, this is going to start looking like a good buy opportunity at one point. But that's a pretty steep drop, man. It's a pretty wide gap. So basically, I mean, these, just for everybody to know, like these are live charts, right? This is like second to second. A lot of places are delayed or anything like that, but this is why I use it. This is why I always have my pro charts. Like, when you can trade these bounces, like, I don't know how many of you guys like scalp or anything like that, but the way that I like to do it sometimes, if I am going to do that and I'm going to play that trade, I'm going to wait for, some sort of recovery and, just wait for this thing. I mean, I think at this point would be probably a good idea to start maybe buying some puts right now. This is where I would start buying puts, to be honest. And I think it might go down even more. It's just the price action is so negative, I'm pretty confident that this thing's just going to keep going down. Right now it's at 130. I mean, this thing could go, man, up to 115. Who knows, man? Who knows? Look at Amazon, man. Look at Amazon. Like, I mean, look, you could have bought Amazon a long time ago. Look at where it is, dude. Amazon was all the way there, and look at where it is now. It's down like 40% from the top. So, I mean, there's so many other stocks that I could show you that are just destroyed. And these are legit stocks like Google. Look at this. It's down like 28%, something like that. I mean, the screen's getting weird again, but like, you get what I'm saying? So you have all these great companies. I mean, and even Netflix, Netflix, I mean, this thing looks horrible. Look at this thing, you know? So it looks horrible. Two gaps down, you know. Then you have things like PayPal. Keep in mind, PayPal has growth, but is making so much money. It's not even like Netflix. It's not like the case in Netflix, because in Netflix, they may be disappointed a bit here, a bit there, but PayPal's been like pushing hard on revenue. It looks even uglier. You know, this is down like, I don't know, man, 80%, some weird number, 76 around there. So, I mean, this is a crash, right? You know, this is pretty straightforward. We are in a crash. If you do not know, this thing was pretty obvious. Like, you know, these amazing companies have been like totally whacked out. So earnings pretty much, you know, matter. You know, if a company has good earnings or not. It's just a tough environment for stocks. So I really think you guys should kind of like learn a little bit about shorting. And that's something that in the trading school, a lot of guys know. All it comes down to is buying a put. That's it. Like all you have to do is buy a put, just like you buy a normal stock, and you make money if the stock goes down, right? It's more volatile, but that's, you know, that's what they call like leverage, right? So you can make money on those whipsaws, right? So let me check this thing here. Where's this? All right, so this Edwin. So yeah, we looked at Walmart there. So I mean, if there's anything else in Walmart that you want me to look at, let me know. We can, you know what we can look at? Let's just stay on the same example, because I just want to show you guys everything I can do in one quick thing here. 1 second. All right, really quick. This is the scanner. It's pre-market, after-market, regular trading hours. It doesn't matter what time of the day. Of course, the market has to be open, but you can set it up here, right? Pre-market, after hours, regular. You can put gainers and losers if you want to short, buy a dip. If you want to play that trade, right? So people do. Or if you want to short or go long, right? You can put losers or gainers. I personally I'd rather not short, to be honest. But in this market, if you don't short, you go broke, and bye-bye market, you know? So it's kind of like survival, when if you don't know and the market just keeps tanking. And look at PayPal. Can you imagine trying to buy the dip on that for like a year and just never, ever, ever just make anything out of that trade but lose money for a year, an entire year? So come on, like, you have to be realistic with the stuff. It's about your pocket. It's about the, you know, you want to be a profitable trader, period. That's it. Okay. So what I do for this, if you want to use it for scalping, all right, you can just put like 5 minutes, and it pretty much gives you the gainers with the percentages in 5 minutes, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour. Session covers the pre-market, regular, or aftermarket, whichever one that you are in. Now, the other thing I do here, if I maybe want to find like a swing, and you can, you know, the fun, well, I'm not gonna say fun, but the cool thing is that I could put losers, and I could literally go 1 month, and I could see what are the stocks that have fallen the most in 1 month. And those are going to be, I don't want to say easy walk in the park shorts, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be some nasty companies there, and you're going to find some bad news about those companies, and maybe they're going out of business. Who knows? But like, I'm just telling you, these are ways that you can find trade ideas on both sides. But let's just go for gainers for most people, right? Going long. The minimum account to begin, I mean, there's people that start with 500,000, couple $1,000, you know, but ultimately it's about learning. It's about the learning part of it, I'd say, the school. That's the focus of it. And now when it comes to pro, I'm showing you where you can find trade ideas, right? I'm not giving you entries or exits. I'm just showing you where you can find things and how to trade them. So in this case, if you're using the smaller time frames, of course, you're trading momentum, right? That's what you're doing. And if you don't know it or not, so we have a class called Momentum in the training school, right? So then you have these other time frames: 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 1 year. I use them to find swings on the long side, right? I can either buy a call out, or I could just buy the stock outright. The other thing that I do like here about this that you don't have anywhere else is that you can filter it by the sector. This means that I can leave all the ugly stuff I don't want out of my face, and I can just focus on the sectors that I want. Meaning, if I don't want to talk about or trade energy, it's out, right? So I don't select it. But if I do want to talk about healthcare, because I do know that healthcare does have a very good outlook for the upcoming year, right? And I'm not going to put technology because I know that growth is just horrible right now, right? So, and much less real estate or anything like that. So, consumer staples, discretionary communication services. Let's put staples in. I mean, this is just we're doing it on the fly. Now, the other thing, market cap. I put it above 2 billion because I want to get rid of all these low float, kind of low market cap companies that can be easily shorted. Like, and you guys, maybe you know, maybe you don't know, but I do know that, you know, when these short sellers come out into these penny stocks, maybe you're in at $1, it goes to $3. They put out a short seller report like they did on IDEX like a year and a half ago, like they did on all these other companies out there that eventually turned out to be like legit companies, you know, but so you see, they can't do that kind of stuff in big companies. So now $2 billion, I'm not saying that's big. I'm just telling you, like, I'm still putting some risk on the table by putting 2 bill. Okay.